Good morning and happy Friday, all. I was just looking for the non-farm payrolls today, thinking, well, they'll be out today, and then realised they've been delayed and they're not coming out till next Wednesday because of the shutdowns, etc. So, what a what a what a day, eh? So we've got not a great deal. We've got Trump speaking at midday today. Aside of that, then we've got the Canadian employment report. And then we've got consumer sentiment for the US. This isn't really going to do a great deal, I wouldn't have thought. So it's left us waiting, hanging in there once again. Other news, where there's lots of tech news out there. I was reading this morning on the system here, this financial news system. I was just catching up on. There's this big spend going on. Actually, it wasn't on there. It was on there. There we go. It's on part of it. This huge 650 billion spend then is earmarked for data centers and equipment. So one thing you might be looking out for if you're an investor is looking for companies that provide the equipment, including chips, cables, backup generators. There we go. There's something that could be doing quite well over the next year. So right, anyway, back to the technicals then. Just got to really watch out for Canadian data if you're trading the Canadian dollar. Let's start looking here firstly. Let's get back to the pound, the euro dollar. Zip through these briefly. So yep, euro dollar then yesterday it just continued that bit of downside, but not. You can just see this week as a whole, aside of the earlier part of the week, Monday there, earlier on Monday, the rest of the week has been pretty nowhere land, and it just looks same-ish, although it doesn't mean to say we won't see the euro coming off here at some point down towards its S1. It certainly looks like it's got the scope to roll over further. So maybe it looks reasonable. I'd wait for the hour to finish before doing it. And if you've missed it, well, we miss it. But you've got to be so careful. As I often say, I don't like trading too early on these markets because of the switchbacks. Right, the pound, similar picture here. We are actually seeing a bit more of a switchback already here, although that could be switching back again. So in the bigger picture though, nice bear flag there. What we saw into Wednesday, that's continued through, and yesterday, horrible choppy day to be fair, with data coming out there. Today, well, again, actually, this looks better, and it's probably got more time. Gives it an opportunity for a bit more time in it. It still looks quite bearish. It's not helped with government stuff that's going on. So all in all, that does look better than the euro at the moment. But I would be waiting probably till about 8:30ish before I would look at actually taking anything on it. If it's then getting into a bit of a chop, I'd leave it until this afternoon. It's probably the best time to be trading. Hence why I'm not trading in trading room at the moment in the mornings. Dollar yen just continuing to push up here. There are people coming into the market. I've read, actually, it was quite a good little note I read there. Let's just pull this back in, and it was actually on here. There you go. Investors have positioned themselves for victory by the Japanese Prime Minister this week's end election by buying the Japanese stocks and selling the yen and government bonds. There we go. Now, that's accordingly where the money flows are running at the moment, just to bear in mind. So, what's that suggest? Well, potentially, now I'm always a bit wary, potentially we could see the dollar yen continue to shove up there. Today it's a little bit flat and ugly at the moment. It's not really showing that much they're buying, but perhaps it's over this period here the buying's been coming in, or selling of the yen's been happening. Anyway, we'll see. I would look at it purely technically and see if there is an opportunity. It starts breaking across here. There is the scope. However, I never like trading weekends, over weekends, new trades. If I'm in the money, in a trade, I'll leave it running. Things like this I don't really like going into, especially with the yen. If it's all the other way, if the surprises hit the market quite hard. Australian dollar, a little bit by the looks of things like the euro and the pound. Just looking at the lower time frames here, we're just running out of a bit of a bounce there. It's had that bounce off its pivot there. Its quarterly pivot. This is interesting. It's actually pushing the other way, so this looks like it's not going to set to the downside, but it's worth waiting and see. All three of these are looking like they've got that sort of shape. If they don't go, don't touch them. That's the easy way. Right, okay. Other markets then, let's go through the usual suspects here. Actually, we'll look at silver. Silver's up currently 2%, although it continued on the downside there. So what we've got here then, silver popping right the way back to 63. It's halved near enough over the week. Over the week, yeah. Well, and last week, over the last couple of weeks, it's halved. Where to now? Well, it's got the support off its quarterly pivot at the moment. I'm looking at there. That's the point that I thought it might come down to when I saw it below. Well, it's done it now. Now it's between a rock and a hard place. It's got the potential to run into resistance on its daily pivot just above there if it gets that way. Not shaping up particularly well. It was looking better yesterday. Didn't make it look too happy though. Anyway, right, gold. So gold picking back up again this morning. At the moment, it was up 2%. Was it a moment ago? Now it's only up 1.6%. There we go. How thick away. Yeah, it's getting a bounce off the 200 there. It is pushing. Yeah, it looks ugly on the owlies. I would still stay clear of this until it gives something more significant on that upside. It needs to start giving. This is still giving lower highs, lower lows. This is the weakness that I'm a bit aware of here. Yesterday it certainly set that up. We need to see something more significant if we were to go buying that. Equity markets then up fractionally. The S&P here up 0.3, but look at the mess of it after yesterday, coming off quite strongly. Investors are not knowing where to put the money at the moment by the looks of things here. But as I pointed out yesterday morning of what it had done here with the lower highs coming through here, well, this is out. It is completely broken through and taken out these previous lows here, and well, again we can see it's running into a quarterly pivot there. To me at the moment it's back on the short side. We had that sort of run up after me looking at saying back here earlier in the week there on Monday, well, this looks bearish. Then we saw a complete sort of a reversal there, but it didn't hold on too long, did it? And yesterday, yesterday that was Wednesday, rolled back over, took the lows out, and it's looking like it's wanting to do the same there. Just a bit of patience. Now these are running sort of their afternoon movements, and it's just waiting for the afternoon to come through to see what happens. There is no non-farm payrolls today, so it might be on a bit more of a relaxed move. Traders might look at the Nasdaq a little bit more. This is people are not that confident in all that spending on AI, whether the money will be recovered, and that's the problem. Good if you're selling. It's a bit like the old days of gold mining. The miners very rarely made any money, but the people that sold the shovels did well. maybe this could be the tech point. It's the people that sell the chips and etc. that do well, not necessarily the companies that are investing massively at the moment. We'll see. It might be a long return, a long wait for the return. But I'm not technically knowledgeable enough on this AI stuff and what it's going to do to understand it fully, what it's going to make. So I put that caveat in there. But technically, what we're seeing here, the tech stocks, lower highs, lower lows, all the way through there, looking soft. Maybe this afternoon again, just be waiting for the tap on the pivot here. If it gets tapped on the pivot, just wait patiently, midday-ish afterwards. Look on the short side. Right, so I'll come on to the short side in a minute on the DAX, but the FTSE yesterday, where it just continued that sell-off it was already in yesterday. Bit of a disappointment after the sharp all-new all-time highs, etc. I don't think the situation with the government's helping things at all. It's got to bring into question, although people, bad behaviour nowadays is just accepted, isn't it? You've got Trump doing what he does. You've got the politics full stop in the UK is a shambles. It's an absolute utter shambles, and well, I think traders are trying to see through it. Certainly see through the politicians. They're only in it for themselves. Okay, DAX. What happened to the days when the politicians were well, there was never a day, was there? There was an odd honest one. DAX, well, the DAX yesterday continued through as it looked shaped up. It was shaping up in the morning. Did get a bounce later on. Where was it? On my hourly chart here. There we go. Here we are. So that did carry on. Got a little bounce, but wow, it went all the way down to the S2 there yesterday. Good solid move there yesterday. Again today, well, it's already hit the S1. Hit the S1 actually before the pivot. I would be looking at this later as well to see if it continues and goes with the others. It's the bit of the whipping boy for me often, although it had got into more of a chop on the bigger scale of things. When you go right back to the weeklies here, you can see it's so much more choppy, but it had been given us, for me, it's given me more shorts than longs actually through a lot of this period here. Okay, it's a weekly view of things, but the sell-offs have been pretty sharp. Right, I shall leave you there. I wish you a good day's trading, and I will catch you on Monday. Take care. Bye for now.